Rant Radio Network.
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis,
And your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. And we are back live here at the Real Estate Rant, here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network.
I'm your stomping ground.
The stomping ground. There you go, the great foundation of the foundation of real estate here in Whittier. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left here, Mr. Alonso. I didn't mean to do that. Mr. Alonso Rodriguez, my broker. How are you, sir?
Good.
In-house. There you go. See, I like that positive. Thank you, Mr. Pantalones. In-house today, we have Mr. Carlos Beltran Jr. He's with us here today from Anchor Lending, or I'm sorry, it's at Anchor Point Commercial.
Anchor Point Commercial Capital.
Right on. Yeah. If you would, Carlos, just pull the mic up to you there. I'm not catching you.
No problem. Can you hear me now?
I don't know, Mr. Pantalones, or do we have Mr. Carlos? Are you picking him up? So joining us today, we will be talking about commercial lending, and Carlos will be our expert on the topic today.
Thank you.
We do have a shout out that we do. Real Estate Rant and AGR and Associates are proud sponsors of Michael Aguilar and Associates and Stroke Awareness. You can log on to his website at www.strokeawareness101.com, or you can email Mike at michaelpaguilar@hotmail.com. And we actually had Mike on the show concerning stroke awareness and the effect it has on realtors.
It's a stressful job, so someone has to do it, right?
That's right.
That's where we
right.
make the big
At least you want to think that.
Exactly. Give us a call, 855-693-4897. Here at the station, that's 855-693-4897. If you have a question for myself, if you have a question for Alonso or Mr. Carlos from Anchor Point Commercial Lending, right?
Yeah, APCC.
Oh, there you go. Okay, APCC. You can win a $25 gift card from Stevens Steakhouse, located in the City of Commerce. Compliments of Carlos Cruz and the Downey Chamber of Commerce. Or you can win a $200 teeth whitening from Gardens Dental, 7218 Garfield Avenue in the City of Bud Gardens. Now, every week we do a design deal. If you happen to call in and get this particular design, you can win one of those gift cards. This particular design has been up for about 3 weeks now, and nobody's been able to get it, even though it is multiple choice. Without saying it out loud, Carlos, do you know what kind of house this is? What style of house?
Expensive.
Well, yeah, that
got it right there.
That's definitely the right answer, but not the answer we were looking for. It is one of the multiple choice questions. If you happen to know the answer, give us a call, 855-693-4897. You can win one of those gift cards. During the show, if you happen to have a question and you are too shy to call the show, you can email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. That's realestaterantradio@gmail.com. Now, we won't get to your question during the show, but we will try and answer those questions that come in on subsequent shows, and Mr. Alonso will help us out with that. He usually gets those emails.
This week's question comes from Isabel out of Laguna Niguel, and it reads, I have recently been pre-approved by my lender for the purchase of my first home. I am now actively searching, but I'm not sure what questions to ask when looking at homes, or what should I be looking for when walking through a home.
Wow. Well, the typical answer would be, how many bedrooms and bathrooms do you want, right?
Right. Exactly.
But usually things that people are not looking at is a lot of times the quality of the home and also the design of the home, right? A lot of times, I don't know, it eludes them. Not until you move into a house and you've been there for a couple weeks do you start recognizing those things. Even though you've done all your inspections on the property and you've gone through the property three or four times, a couple weeks after, for some reason, it sinks in.
Well, one of the first things that you would look is potential problems and maintenance issues with that property. First you want to make sure, does anything need to be replaced on that home? How's the AC? You want to look at the roof, at the, just basic structure of the home.
Okay, well,
look at carpet.
Talking about quality condition.
Quality condition. You want to focus on the neighborhood, and there's a lot of things that overwhelm me when looking at a home, and Don't be shy to take your pen and paper and make a list of questions you want to ask.
Well,
Make that list,
nowadays, take pictures, right?
take pictures and make a list, and jot down list of questions you want to ask. You make, that you don't want to forget. Also, might be a smart idea to take a measuring tape. You have existing furniture.
Oh, that's a big one.
Measure your furniture, and is it gonna fit? In different areas of the home. So there's a lot of things you could do. That
My TV doesn't fit in the living room. That's true. That is a good point. And that kind of leads up to the other thing that I forensically say about property is the functional layout and design. A lot of times you walk into a home and it just doesn't feel right, and you can't really put your finger on it. And the main reason is a lot of times when they do construction, especially in the early 1920s, and all of those homes built in that era, the doorways are smaller, the hallways are smaller. Sometimes the roofs are not as high. Or I'm sorry, the ceiling is not as high.
The doorways are narrower. You can't get the big refrigerators in.
Yes.
Now people have these kind of walk-in coolers now.
Walk-in coolers.
Well, yeah, the Sub-Zeros, man, those things are huge, right?
Yeah, most of the doors nowadays for the older properties are 30 inches, and to get a double door refrigerator, you need 36 inches.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, so that there's a lot of things you want to jot down before you go out there and look at the house. If you do have it, like I said, existing appliances, make sure you're gonna be able to fit them in your kitchen. Sometimes you have electrical differences in your appliances, or does it come with appliances? There's a lot of things you might want to, like I said, jot down and make sure that it's gonna be a match for you.
Yeah, so I think what you're trying to say, Alonso, is that move into the house before you actually move into the house.
Exactly.
You want to all of your furniture, a lot of things that you have, even wall ornaments and stuff like that, stuff that you're going to put outside of the property. You need to take all those things into consideration. It's not just doing the inspection, doing the appraisal, checking to make sure that the toilets are flushing, that kind of thing. That's the utility of the property. It's supposed to function properly, obviously, but there are other things that you should look at. And we had Leilani Ferguson on, and she talked about interior design as well. So these are all other issues to really think about.
Well, another important issue that I think you gotta kind of address is you're literally gonna be living in that house all year long, and you basically got to make a choice. Am I gonna be happy living in this home? Can I picture myself all year around here?
But it never works out that way, does it? Though.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, because sometimes, you want a big yard, and you jump the gun, and you got a home that the yard wasn't big enough. So you're not gonna be happy in the summertime when you want to be barbecuing and you're standing in a little porch in the back of your home.
For me, Alonso, I'll tell you, it boils down to one thing: to what it's gonna cost. And because I'm such a stingy individual, right? I'm gonna look at the two, and I'm gonna say no, I got to go with the one with the smaller payment, because I'm just a stingy person, and I always end up with the smaller yard or the smaller something, because of that.
One of the things that inspections, appraisals cannot answer the neighborhood. Take time, go down the street, and meet some of the neighbors. Ask them about the area. Ask them about the neighbors.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sure,
That's a good one for sure.
Because obviously the seller has motive, self-motive, and the inspection can only go within, but what about the outside? You can have a perfect house, but if you have the neighbors from hell, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the good things to point out, and another thing is, you're looking at it during the day, but drive by at night, because the neighborhood could change from day to night, so that's another thing you might want to go look in the dark and see what the neighborhood looks when all the bad people come out that are sleeping during the day.
Well, what I notice is if you see kids walking around, right? Look at that. If you see kids walking around and families outside and stuff like that, it's usually an indicator that the neighborhood's pretty good. But if you don't see anybody walking around, right, then it's usually an indicator that
or if you hear sirens and the ghetto bird out there, then there's a problem, all right?
Exactly.
You hear the ghetto bird up in the sky and sirens, and it's a red flag right there. That automatically tells you,
yes,
okay,
yes.
it's gonna be a rough neighborhood. Am I gonna be able to sleep all through sirens and loud trains, that go by in the night. I myself live in a neighborhood where it backs into a train, so in the night, you get used to the loud horns, the loud train horns, and then the house shaking a little bit. A lot of people stay there and they say, "Oh, what? Like, what's going on? An earthquake?" No, it's just a train going by. Don't worry about it.
Imagine that.
Then you
Well,
just,
see that's a big one. You buy a house and there's a train that you didn't know about.
and mind you, this train is blocks away, and you could still hear it at night, and the house still shakes and rambles, and after a while you've been there, you get kind of immune to it, but
You get used to it.
those are things if you work at during the day and you during the night and you have to get up early, then it's gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be a rough night.
Unless you get some good earplugs.
There you go. Give us a call, 855-693-4897. You can give myself, Alonso, or Carlos a question, and you have a chance to win one of those gift cards, or you can choose a design deal, and it is multiple choice. If you happen to get that answer, you can win one of those gift cards. Was there a second part to that question?
Well, that was what should I look from walking through a home was a part of the question. Is question to ask and what it look. Again, like just a reminder. Look, is there present and future rooms? Is there enough room? Are the bedrooms and bathrooms big enough? The home is structurally sound, mechanical systems and appliances. Is the yard big enough? Do you like the floor plan? Those are all questions you need to jot down and ask your realtor and make sure he answers them and you understand. And if you don't understand, make sure you ask him again and make sure he answers it until you understand.
Well, let me ask you something here, Alonso, on that end of it, because one of the things when I go show property to clients, and they start talking about, well, you know what, we can tear this wall down and we can build over here and we can do all this stuff. I would say 90% of the clients that have told me that ended up buying that house never do it. They never make those changes, and mainly because they don't have the resources to do it.
Budget.
Well, yeah, that's what it boils down to, because they've already tapped themselves out when they buy that house, and they can't tear that wall down, or they can't make that addition that they wanted because they don't have the money to do it, right? So I always tell them, you know what, don't think that way.
We're coming up on a break. Don't touch that mouse.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more Real Estate Rant.
Are you watching the game at home? Why? Come watch it at Mambo Grill, the hottest spot in Downey. You'll have good food, drinks, and a great time at a low price. We have the coldest beer in our sports bar, where you can enjoy the game on any of our huge flat screen TVs. And when your home team wins, you get 25% off anything in Mambo Grill. We're on Downey Avenue, 1 block north of Firestone, or visit us on the web. Mambo Grill, love at first bite.
Do we have your attention? When it comes to tequila, two things matter: heart and passion. Never compromising integrity for mass production. Number one Tequila delivers the goods. Taste the heart and passion of Mexico in every bottle. We make it right. We make it fun. Superior Tequila. There's only number one. There's only number one. There's only number one.
Been in an accident? Then you need your vehicle professionally repaired. That's exactly what you get when you bring your vehicle to Greg's Auto Body Repair. Free quotes within minutes. We will provide everything you need for a hassle-free auto body repair, from an accurate estimate to working with your insurance company. We will get your vehicle to its pre-accident condition as soon as possible. Greg's Auto Body has been serving Los Angeles County and local cities since 1970. Call us at 562-789-1300.
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home, at AGR & Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AGR & Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.agrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos español. Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis.
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. And we are back here at the Real Estate Rant, here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis. And to my left here, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez, my broker, in house today
After
live.
that, yeah, it's Fred and Barney, no?
Fred and Barney.
Fred and Barney.
Rufus and Goofus. In house today live, Mr. Carlos Beltran Jr. from Anchor Point Commercial Capital. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon,
Welcome,
Alex.
Mr.
Good
Carlos.
afternoon, Ella. Alonso, how you doing?
Good.
Good.
Good. Carlos is here to talk to us about commercial lending, and we have not had a commercial lender on the show. And interesting conversations we've had, Carlos, the other day, putting an outline together for the show and
Right.
talking about a lot of the different things that go on in commercial lending, because Alonso and I, we mainly do residential. Not that we haven't a commercial, but it still kind of eludes us a little bit as to some of the things that go on. And the funny thing is that a lot of times when I talk to the commercial industry folks, they tell me that it's easier than residential, right?
Well, I guess it all depends on each individual. I would say it's residential, and that's where I started back in '91. Was challenging. It was challenging, and I started in 1998, commercial. And it depends on the client, depends on the project, what the goal is, and it could be easy and it could be challenging. But I think the bottom line is that commercial real estate is still a mystery. It's not easily, it's not easily accessible. And that's what a lot of realtors and loan brokers are saying these days.
Nice.
What are the two major differences with commercial and residential lending, Carlos?
Well, I think we talked about it, Alex and I, the other day. And what it comes down to is residential, as you folks know it, it's very emotional. And commercial is investment. It's all about the rate of return. It's the added value. I know what, if it's 30%, 40%, 25%, it's no problem because I know that it's a good investment. And,
it's
and that's
all
the major
about the
difference.
money.
That's it. Show me the money.
Show me the money and I'll lend you what you need to be
Correct.
done, huh?
Well,
That's it.
exactly. So kind of going back to Alonso's question, the difference between commercial and residential lending, you actually mentioned the different kinds of lending that there is, and I think there was 4 different categories.
Well, there's a few, but I think on the major that we identify with is institutional, portfolio. Then we have some hard money or soft private money, depends who you're talking to. That's the category they put it under. And then we go into government agency. Government agency, that would be Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, SBA, and those are some of the government agency programs. But if you want competitive rates, obviously they all have a niche, but it's institutional. And that's, of course, more documentation required. Then we have portfolio lending. There's some light documentation programs out there. They're coming back. Hopefully it's not the same as before, but they're good programs. And then we have hard money, private money that will look at the equity and put aside the credit FICO, your credit worthiness, just because of the equity built in, the LTV, if you will.
Nice. So I'm assuming that now in commercial lending, you're kind of plugging in the right type of lender now to a commercial project or a particular commercial store or something.
Right. Thank you, Alex. Well, I had some good news today, and I think if you listen to the news, if you look at the articles regarding commercial real estate, it is making a quick recovery versus 2008, 2009. You couldn't get a dollar borrowed even if you had a property that was zero balance. Nowadays, we can go ahead and put it's all about filing the file, how you stack the file, how you organize the documentation, and lenders who are more than accommodating to lend money. You have to know exactly the particulars about each program in order to provide the capital that's needed.
Nice.
One of the lenders that I worked with back in the days told me, you just gotta paint the picture right, tell the story, let the picture paint the story and tell the story
For the underwriter?
for the underwriter. Make it understandable, Don't leave anything out. And sometimes, trying to hide things, sometimes they work to your advantage instead of hiding them when you disclose them.
Yeah, I think transparency is very important these days because you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste the professionals' time, realtors, the escrow, the insurance agent. You want to make sure that if it fits, close it. If it doesn't, be upfront and tell people you need this, you need to change this, you need to upgrade, you need to bring more money to the table. But just be transparent. I think you got the right idea, Alonso.
Yeah, and actually, it worked to our favor that we back in the days, everybody tried to do their little tricks and tricks of the trade, where they try to get one by someone, and then I had a situation where alone,
That's a low price.
the couple wasn't married, so they didn't want to disclose that he was living with her as a how do you say it, common law wife marriage.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
marriage.
So they were able to use her income after they disclosed it. So it was kind of like, should have told me in the first place,
Well, you know what?
Thank you, Mr. Pantalon.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Alonso. You know what? I think that's the second part to my story as to why I changed from residential to commercial. 90% of the time, I don't have to deal with that.
Wow.
It is what it is. People say, I want this. I say, okay, you need 25, 30, 35, 40% down. Let's move forward. Let's put the deal together. And commercial brokers, they know this. They know this. So they give me the answers. They give me the what they call the project's information on an offering memorandum. Offering memorandum meaning the marketing package with all the financials of the project. And I get together with the investor and we make it happen. And I remember the good old days of residential. You go get city assistant programs, cleaning credit. It's a challenge. It's a tough program to residential. So when they say that residential is easy, I take my hat off to loan officers that are in the residential business. These guys are hardworking people.
Yeah, no, I can attest to that. But let's back up a little bit, Carlos,
Thank you.
because now after kind of listening to you, there are subtle differences in things that commercial lenders look at rather than residential. Because residential, they're looking at your FICO scores, they're looking at this. That's the obvious stuff.
Correct.
But now when you're talking about commercial, you're looking at more the business end of it and income, right? And that also kind of flows over even to the appraisal, because even the appraisal, they're not necessarily using comparables now they're looking at the income and cap rates and that kind of thing.
Correct.
Is it?
Well, let me just give you a quick summary. It is multifamily income property apartments, and it's mixed use, and it's retail, then it's office, and a light industrial, light manufacturing, warehouse, special purpose use category falls under restaurants, churches, laundromats, self-storage parks. There's a lot of projects out there, and what you're asking me, the difference is that we take a look at the property and figure out the debt servicing cover ratio. We try to analyze the property from a financial perspective. So when it gets to the underwriter to the appraiser, we're not going to waste our time. We know up front if it qualifies or not, and that's the key.
Nice. Any questions, Mr. Alonso?
That's kind of astonished me. I was like, oh, wow, the name. That's how it works. It's that easy, yeah.
We talked a little bit the other day about distressed markets. Can you
Right.
give us a little synapse on that?
Sure. You know what? When I started in the business, just a few years prior to that, there was a one-page purchase contract, residential, one page.
I remember those.
Oh, you have to write all around the ram of the purchase contract to get your point across. And then in 2005,
Turn it over on the back.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was crazy, but it was good. And in 2005, 2006, you could literally put a project, a lending application on a napkin and close it in a few days. But these days, it's all about due diligence. I think we all taken the second step in doing it the way lenders want it. We provide their paperwork, and they provide the capital, and it's a win-win situation. But in respect to your question, the lending market right now, it is like day and night from 2008, 2009. I think a lot of folks already know that. But let me give an example. The hottest hit markets were California or Southern California.
Now you're talking about in commercial.
In commercial.
Okay.
In commercial, yeah. That's what happened back then, and I'm sharing it with you. It is Las Vegas, Nevada, Phoenix, Arizona, Florida. Hardest hit. Now, Southern California has made a strong comeback, and we're happy for that. We're all in California. And the one that a lot of investors are going to are Las Vegas, Nevada, and Phoenix, Arizona. Around Phoenix, Arizona, that's called a core market. It's a major market. And what they do, they go to Phoenix, they go to Tampa, they go to Glendale, they go to Tucson, they go to Yuma, and you're able to pick up a lot of projects because the inventory in California, because it's such a hot market, foreign investors, native investors, and here we go.
Are we going to break, Alonso? Or is it okay? I wasn't sure what that was.
No, that was just that was some good music from my old days.
Right on. So you mentioned that the investors now have turned their eye to those particular markets, but it looks like they might be coming back a little bit.
Well, you know what it is? They pretty much cleaned up Southern California. You can't beat Southern California. You got L.A., Los Angeles, you got Orange County. Now you're up in San Diego, and then you go to San Jose, San Francisco. They just cleaned up what they call all the Class A properties. Now they're going to Lancaster, Bakersfield, Fresno, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and they're buying those properties. And then let me just give an example regarding foreign investors. Foreign investors are just buying up everything. We're talking about Germany, Canada, Norway, Asia, Middle Eastern countries are buying a lot of investments here in California.
Wow.
46% of the office purchases in the U.S. come from foreign investors. Alonso?
What do you think, Mr. Alonso?
That it's not going to be America anymore.
We know the good thing is they buy and they leave it here.
Alonso, we live in a country of immigrants.
Thank you.
So that's
It's
just
diversified.
So, which of the Latin countries are you from? The one with the Civil War, the one with the cocaine, or the one with the fancy hats?
Where would you come from? I think I come from the cocaine.
the cocaine one. Right on. You're the Central American one.
No.
You're killing me. Anyway, there was a term that you used that I thought was interesting during the interview. You mentioned capital markets or major capital markets.
Major capital markets.
Actually, we're going to have to come to that question after the break. We have a few seconds left.
Look forward to that.
Just real quick, give us a call, 855-693-4897.
Don't touch that mouse.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more Real Estate Rant.
Add some crazy flavor to your vape pen. You're looking for something new and exciting in liquid vapor? Go to Crazy Cloud's e-juice. Find them at burstoflavor.com and try any of the new 12 flavors they have available. Blueberry, mint, raspberry, chocolate, gummy bear, hemp, watermelon, cola, orange, pina colada, coconut, or Red Bull. Call us today at 855-WE-BURST or visit us at burstoflavor.com and order yours today.
The Share Foundation is the health division of the Corey Chiropractic Institute, a 501c3 509A2 public nonprofit organization dedicated to the growth and development of the natural health care services, in particular through the chiropractic profession, offering health services at the Share clinics in the greater Los Angeles area. Your donations can help in expanding these facilities across the nation, research programs, and public education, thus offering a solution to the many of the health challenges we face. Your donations are tax deductible and can be sent through our website at www.sharefoundation.com. That's www.cherfoundation.com by clicking on the donation button. Thank you.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bank Mart, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
Hey, bro, this is a good game. You know what would make it better?
What, bro?
A michelada.
A michelada? What's a michelada?
A michelada is somewhere in the middle of a Mexican Bloody Mary and a Mexican margarita.
Oh, I got you covered, bro.
You got a cup in your pocket?
No, sir. I got my pocket-sized michelada. Mucho macho michelada.
Pocket size?
Pocket size, so you can take it with you anywhere you go.
Where'd you get that at?
At the nearest convenience store, and you can also buy it at muchomachomichelada.com.
You know what will make it better? After we get drunk, if they had a line we could call.
We can call their drunk line. You can leave a message and then log on to the site and listen to your stupidity afterwards.
What's that number?
It's 855-MICHE-69.
What's that number again?
855-MICHE-69.
Awesome. Mucho macho michelada.
What's up, guys? Sports Guru
and Bud Knocker
from the Sportscast, Wednesdays, 12 to 2 Pacific on Rant Radio Network.
We got everything you need to know about sports. We got all the latest video highlights. We got You Got Knocked Up. We got Bonehead of the Week. We're talking sports, drinking beer, and having a good time.
If you missed the show, go to rantradionetwork.com and listen on demand. So check us out every Wednesday, 12 to 2 on Rant Radio Network.
Hi, from the Rant Radio Network, you're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis, and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez. No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. And we are back here at the Real Estate Rant, here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left here, my broker, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez. And in-house today, live, in person, Mr. Carlos Beltran Jr. from, and I keep forgetting this, it's Anchor Point Commercial Capital.
That's right, Alex. Thanks.
APCC. APCC.
What does that stand for?
Anchor. Anchor Point Commercial Lending.
Give us a call, 855-693-4897. If you happen to be looking at the screen, you can get Mr. Carlos's information. His number is 562-756-7993, or you can email him at commercialloansusa@yahoo.com. They are located on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles, and Carlos will come to you, I believe, if you have a consultation that you need on commercial lending and thereabouts. You also do residential lending as well, don't you?
I know, just commercial.
Oh, just commercial. Nice. So it's exclusive and expertise on that end, right?
Thank you.
Give us a call, 855-693-4897, and Mr. Pantalones, if you will, if we can throw up the design deal again. If you happen to give us a call, you can win a $25 gift card at Stevens Steakhouse, located in the City of Commerce. Compliments of Carlos Cruz and the Downey Chamber of Commerce. Or you can win a $200 teeth whitening from Gardens Dental, located at 7218 Garfield Avenue in the City of Bell Gardens. Both, again, compliments of Carlos Cruz and the Downey Chamber of Commerce. This is a multiple choice question, and I do believe that we've had this up for 3 weeks. I think we might give away the answer today, just so we can change it up, right, Mr. Alonso?
I think we should.
We'll do it on the fourth segment. So if nobody calls in, 855-693-4897.
It looks like we'll be having.
And then he just.
it looks like we'll be having dinner at Stevens Steakhouse today.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Congratulations, Alex! We just won a $25 gift card to Stevens Steakhouse.
And Mr. Pantalones has been tossing up the answer there.
Compliments of all the listeners that didn't call in.
They're right on. As a matter of fact, I did want to mention just real quick. Monday. There was a meeting at the Uptown Whittier Association, and I became a board member. I was voted in.
Congratulations.
So I don't know if I told my broker that. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Does that mean we get free stuff in Whittier now, or
not free stuff? Actually, it's a little more work. It's a little more work for stuff, and so
that's terribly sexy.
Well, invite me to the dinners, and I'm there. You know that. I'll support you in that.
You're gonna come to the banquets, huh?
This show was previously recorded.
Oh man, can you, Mr. Pantalon is just full of jokes this morning or this afternoon. Okay, so
show me some respect, boy.
On the last segment, I wanted to talk a little bit about major capital markets. If you can expand on that, Mr. Carlos, please.
Sure. In the commercial industry, we called major cities, population that are in the large numbers. Los Angeles, for example, Dallas, Washington D.C., New York. Chicago, San Francisco, those are what they call major capital markets, as well as core markets. And then you have sub-markets, which are surrounding cities. Let's take Los Angeles. A sub-market would be Anaheim, Long Beach, those areas.
Oh, like smaller
areas,
smaller areas.
entities of the big
metropolitan areas.
Correct.
I see.
Correct.
Alonso, during the break, you had a question. I wanted to.
Oh yeah, about cost and commercial lending. What's the difference between commercial lending and residential? Because I know the costs are a little bit more expensive, especially the appraisals. that need to be done when doing commercial lending.
Right. I remember years back when in the 90s, I think I would get an appraisal, residential appraisal for maybe 200, 300, and it was maybe 30, 40 pages, if I recall. Nowadays, you can actually get an appraisal, what they call a full narrative MAI approved commercial appraisal, and that could be 100, 150 pages. And what it is a lot of detail in regards to the appraisal, because they have first, they have three approaches in determining value: cost approach, sales approach, income approach. And that in itself creates a lot of paperwork. Second, due diligence, finding out what the project's demographics are. And we don't involve those three items, maybe the sales approach on residential, but we don't involve those other items on residential appraisal. First, that's one. That's number two is the pool of appraisers available for commercial projects is limited in commercial. And maybe, I don't know what the ratio is, but I know there's a lot more residential appraisers. And that's part of it. That is part of it. The cost factor, due diligence factor, the number of professionals involved in commercial versus residential.
And not only that, that also, correct me if I'm wrong, Carlos, but in commercial lending, you also appraise the equipment and the inventory you have in some of the projects or some of the properties that are being bought.
Yeah, I believe they call them trade fixtures.
Well, that would have to do with SBA, but normal of the time, if we're talking just real estate appraisal, there is a big difference. Maybe what you guys can tell me what on a residential appraisal runs these days. But
they're about 450, but I know that some of the narrative stuff, I mean, they were over 2,500, sometimes
sure, 2,500. You can take 5 to 10 units, maybe 2,500.
Nice.
Once you jump over the 40, 50 unit project, multifamily, now you're looking at 6,000, 7,000. And that's really the bottom line. It's all about the pool of professionals as well as the work involved.
And that's a costly sum to come up with, because it still doesn't guarantee you a loan. And obviously the appraisal has to be done before anything's even lent out, right?
Well, exactly. Thank you for the mystery. Well, you know what? It is. The appraiser's the final say-so. The appraiser's the one that's going to call the shot is fair market value. But as an underwriter and as a commercial brokerage, we have an idea. We do have an idea. We're not going to price it. We're not going to tell you what the fair market value is. But if you tell me that you have 10 units in Santa Monica and it's worth $2 million or $3 million, I say, yeah, that's fine. Let me see what the income is. We're going to do our due diligence analysis there. Now, if you're going to tell me that 10 units in South Central is going to wind up at $3 million, it's an automatic no. That's not the market. That's not the geo market. So we have an idea, whether it's our resources, whether it's past experience on closed transactions. That's where we get the information from. There is no prequel. If you guys remember back from you just call an appraiser and tell me what the value is. Not in commercial. There's no freebies, but we should have an idea. We should have an idea based on income, based on operating expenses, based on the rent roll, based on the area cap raise, gross income multiplier. So there's a formula there to have a good idea, because nothing worse as a professional commercial lending firm that we're opening deals, they're not going to appraise. It could happen,
that makes sense.
But
That
the
makes a lot of sense.
percentage are minimal.
So what you're saying is that as a lender, as a commercial lender, you're not using AVMs like some of the residential lenders are using. They're using these algorithms and market information that they pull together in certain areas, and they filter out certain information. You can't do that in commercial.
No, you have to know your resources. You have to do your homework, and you have to pay the fees for the services available to commercial appraisers or commercial brokers. Let me give you an example. If you have a listing, $500,000 home, you get yourself a nice 3-page, 4-page color flyer with a lot of information. Maybe build a website for that property. In commercial, you're going to put in a marketing package that could require 30 pages. That's the external. That's the one you give interested parties. Then you may have a 75, 100-page marketing package for the internal once you're in contract. So it's a lot of paperwork. And then the software involved is expensive, but we're getting off the track of the expense of the actual transaction. But just the nature of the business is that the transaction is much larger, commissions are a lot larger. So it goes hand in hand. Just for the investor knows that if I spend $6,000 for 50 units, the investment, the what they call the net operating income, my profit, rate of return is so high, I have no problem with that. It's just part of doing business.
You mentioned a couple
Yes,
of
sir.
things that I remember back from appraisal school.
Okay.
And one of the things that you mentioned the cap rates.
Right.
We talked a little bit about value, and then we talked a little bit about income.
Yes, sir.
But there's a formula that we used to use. It was called IRV.
IRV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that sound familiar to you?
No.
Okay.
That's
IRV.
a smoker.
Not on this show, right?
Oh, okay.
But
Wrong
IRV is
show.
simply calculation. IRV, the acronym is I for income,
Okay.
R for rate, and V for value.
Okay.
So if you divide the income times the rate, you divide the income by the rate, you get the value. Or if you multiply the rate times the value, you get the income. So it was a triangle, and that's how income.
Stop it.
Thank you.
In income property, that's how we did that.
Good.
In commercial appraising, right?
Right.
I didn't do too much commercial appraising, but I did learn in a commercial shop. So I learned a lot of the narrative stuff that was going on, and I know that because you talked a little bit about the cap rates. Now what is a cap rate?
Well, let me just say, Alonso, that's why I hang around with Alex. This guy knows a little bit about everything. Very good, Alex.
I'd like to think so. Man. That's not true,
Oh, I
Carlos,
think-
but I like to
think you
think
do.
so. I try to,
I think you do.
I try as much as I
Well,
can.
cap rates. Cap rate is just a fraction, a number.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Thank you. The cap rate is something that is that's given by the demographics of the area, the appraisers, the realtors, the market, the lenders. They all come out with the cap rates simply because if a market, let me give an example here. Cap rates are at the lowest. It's making a history mark right now at the lowest. Take a city that we've done some projects just recently. In 2012, the cap rate was in between 6 and 7. The cap rates in Downey are below 6. Well, they're
I was
below
gonna
6.
say that sounds high.
Oh, that's what they were.
Yeah.
And I would see 5s and 5.5. I said, well, wait a minute. But now the cap rates are in the 5s and 4s in different areas.
So what does that indicate? When the cap rates are low, that usually indicates what?
Well, the cap rates are low. That means the prices are going up.
They're going up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Value's
right.
going up.
Because I don't know, somebody had said something about when the cap rates are going up, the values are going up. I was like, wait a second,
I know.
doesn't sound right, because if you use that IRV equation,
Sure.
it's going to affect that. In
Cap
terms
rate
of the,
divided by the annual NOI gives you the value.
gives you the value,
Sure.
exactly. So you've seen a decrease in the cap rates.
Very much so.
I see.
To my surprise, even though I'm in it every day, but I saw some of the cap rates recently. I said, wow, they're in the 4s.
So in your experience, then the major capital markets, or the core, like you said, the core markets,
Yes.
you're seeing there's a strengthening going on.
Very much so.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Very much so. And because of a lack of inventory, there is a great need right now for B and C class property.
Coming up on a break. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra-modern, ultra-clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
ProTech Carpet Tile and Care provides professional cleaning services for carpet, tile, grout, upholstery, and fine area rugs.
ProTech technicians are professionally trained and certified cleaning and restoration experts.
We specialize in restoring damage caused by heavy soil and odor.
We can remove challenging spots such as coffee, tea, ink, gum, wine, and many more.
We have saved our customers thousands of dollars on new flooring and furniture expenses with our advanced cleaning processes.
Call for a free estimate at 562-447-4300 and visit us on our website, www.myprotectsite.com.
Hey, this is Joe Perez, owner at Protect. Just reminding you that Protect Carpet and Tile Care is your professional choice.
What's wrong?
I can't stop craving a cigarette. I just quit. Hey, what are you smoking on?
Oh, this? Best e-juice on the planet. Burst of flavor, of course.
What's that?
Only the best alternative to smoking with a great flavor. It has a burst of flavor in every puff.
Well, does it have nicotine?
It comes in different levels, including 0. They have 20 flavors and more coming. All the products are made in the U.S. Check them out at www.burstoflavor.com or call them at 855-WE-BURST.
Hey, let's burst together.
It's not just flavor, it's an experience. Cigarettes, you've met your match.
Looking for some swag? Make sure to check out monsterclothing.com. They got everything from V-necks, t-shirts, hoodies, baby dolls. And remember, custom orders are always welcome and much more. They're just not on the site yet. www.monsterclothingco.com or call them at 888-49-MONSTER. 888-49-MONSTER. Hablamos español. Doo-doo-doo!
Everyone, even Elvis loves Firehouse.
Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis,
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat.
Welcome back.
And welcome back to the Real Estate Rant here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left here, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez, live in studio today. We have Mr. Carlos Beltran Jr. from Anchor Point Commercial Capital.
There you go,
There
Alex.
you go.
Thank
I'm
you.
getting it right at some point. Thank you.
APCC.
Thank
What's
you,
it stand
sir.
for?
Thank you,
Anchor
sir.
Point Commercial.
Give us a call, 855-693-4897, or you can email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. Let's throw up the design deal. You have a chance to win a $25 gift card, but nobody happened to get it. So let's put up the answer, Mr. Pantalones, if you will. This particular piece of property in American suburban communities, the McMansion, which when I first saw this, I thought it was a joke because really McMansion, it totally sounds like McDonald's. That's what it sounds like.
That's McDonald's mansion.
I like that.
I mean, it has nothing to do with that actually.
Well, if you live there, you'll be happy, right?
McMansion is a pejorative for a type of large new luxury home, which is judged to be oversized for the parcel. And for its neighborhood. Alternatively, a McMansion can be large new house in a subdivision of similarly large houses. So, anyway,
so that's probably my house, the McMansion.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, yours is the McMansion of your area.
My area,
absolutely, absolutely. So it doesn't necessarily
we
have
call
to be
it
this
we
design.
call it our market overbuilt.
So shut up. Yeah, exactly. Now here's the thing: you don't win the gift card, Mr. Alonso, just because you have a McMansion. I just wanted to be clear on that.
All right.
I can't give you a teeth whitening though if you want.
I kind of like Carlos's answer better.
What is that?
An expensive home.
Well, okay.
I'll
tell you, and it was an answer as well. So who knows? Who knows? Carlos might walk away with a Steven Steakhouse gift card today.
There you go.
You can give Carlos a call there at 562 area code 756-7993. He does primarily commercial lending, or you can email him at commercial loans, that's with an S, USA@yahoo.com. Carlos will be available to take your phone calls and also give you a consultation on your commercial wants and needs. Mr. Carlos, we were talking a little bit about during the break. I asked you a question, and I forgot what it was. What was the question that I asked you?
In regards to the photo taking, the appraisal.
No. This was the question. Who looks at all that? Because we were talking about the appraisal. Who looks at that whole thing? I would think that 150-page appraisal would take a week to read.
100-page appraisal that you paid $2,500. Well, you know what? I think that stands to reason that not all pages are looked into, but a lot of them do. If you're going to lend $2 million, $3 million, $5 million, you better read at least 75 of the 150.
Nice.
So, and it's all about
sense.
It's all about the numbers.
I mean, yeah. If I had
you want to make sure your investment is going to get paid back.
There you go.
Return on your investment.
So you got to read the fine print.
read the fine print, read the numbers, read the formulas, read the comparables, look at the photos.
Unless you're perfectly fine in donating that money and never getting it back.
That's what it becomes,
Yeah.
huh? That's what it becomes. And actually, Carlos, you mentioned now,
Yes.
and this made sense because you were saying that you know the Downey market because we work in this suburban area.
Sure.
So if you get an appraisal of a property in Downey, you'll be kind of comfortable with what the conclusions are
Correct.
because it goes in conjunction with everything you've done in past history. But if you happen to get something out of state or in an area that you're not familiar with, you're going to take the time now to go and look through that report.
Very much so. Our firm, Commercial Capital or Commercial Point Commercial Capital.
See, now I got you doing the
now I
same
got
thing.
you showing
Sorry about that.
APCC.
There you
I'm
go.
absolutely adamantly opposed to that.
Thank you. We're nationwide, and we're talking about a project in Lincoln, Nebraska. And if we're not familiar with the area, we're going to be looking at that appraisal. The due diligence, the appraisal reviewer at the underwriter is going to be reviewing that appraisal. The appraiser is going to make sure that all these T's and are crossed and I's are dotted. So, yeah, it's important. Out of market.
That's
is
a
very
fact.
important.
That's a fact.
But more so because commercial, we're putting our emphasis on the project, on the property itself, on the asset. The appraisal is very, very important. Even more so these days, knowing that the properties are going up in value. They want to know. They want to know what they're lending on.
Now, is that happening in commercial as well? I know you talked about them being stronger markets, but they're going up in value as well, like residential.
All markets, all sectors of commercial industry are going up. The office market, the retail market, the multifamily income property market, the industrial market, and even hospitalities. Not too long ago, back in 2009, we're getting a lot of calls with major projects for Las Vegas, but there was no takers, no money. Now, hospitality, hotel, motel industry is back, making a strong comeback.
Nice.
It's all going to Dubai.
Going to Dubai.
What's Dubai?
Dubai. They built the town
Arabs,
they built in the desert.
Was that Saudi Arabia?
Island? No, Dubai. That is the
Dubai.
country.
Oh, the country of Dubai.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was a city.
No, we haven't loaned there yet.
Oh, that's where there's a paradise in the middle of nowhere. It's the bigger the better there.
You've been on the internet too much, I think, Alonso.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it needs a vacation, Dubai vacation.
I wish I could afford it.
So we have. So you've mentioned the stronger markets. You've mentioned the increase now in commercial property in terms of value.
Correct.
So what does that mean for business owners?
I think what it means for business owners, if you're leasing right now, excellent time to buy. Just earlier today, I read an article where Janet Yellen, the new Fed chairman, is going to back off on purchase of bonds. The bond market is taking a back step. Therefore, rates might start creeping up. And it stands to reason they've been historically low for years now. So if you're an investor, great time to buy your own building, buy your own office building. If you're a doctor, your own medical building. If you're a industrial import and export, buy your own warehouse. Good time. Rates are low. Capital is accessible. Liquidity is back. Thank you. Liquidity is back. So yeah, by all means.
What is that? What do you think that means for brokers and agents now? Now speaking from my perspective now, what would you say that means? If the market is stronger, and the business owners are buying and holding, I mean, wouldn't that mean less commercial properties?
Well, I don't know if they're holding. It's a given because a lot of investors are taking advantage of the 1031. There's a lot of 1031 transactions out there. You have 15,000, 20,000 square foot warehouse, double it, just a 1031. A lot of brokers, realtor brokers, are taking advantage of that, offering that service.
And just to educate the listeners, for those who don't know what a 1031 is, can you explain that?
You know what? I'm going to limit my answers since that is a 1031. It's an IRS tax code, and that means you have to talk to a professional in that field.
Mr. Broker, do you have something to say about that?
We have that disclosure, right? On the show.
We do. I'll take that. To the listeners out there, we do try and give our opinions here on the show, but what I think what Carlos is trying to say is that if talk to your CPA or your attorney about those particular tax codes, but a 1031 Now, are you talking about 1031 exchange?
1031 exchange, IRS tax code. Most title companies offer that service. Maybe that's a good place to start.
But what it is in for the general layman is just that you're transferring your property, your capital gains money is being transferred to your new property, so you're not taxed on it, and it's pretty much on your new purchase, other than paying your capital gains tax. Am I right?
Yeah. I mean, the idea is to try. It's like a tax shelter.
Well, it's
I
not
think.
just all your capital gains. It's every penny transfer over.
Every penny, and that's
Yeah, all
exactly
your
right.
net, your
Everything,
net sheet.
everything gained from that property is going to your new acquired property.
Yeah, and again, we're not attorneys or CPA, so please talk to your attorney or CPA about that. But in terms of our discussion, that is something that commercial owners and commercial people that are interested in commercial, something they need to know.
Very much.
And this is the reason why we're trying to expose that.
Mhm.
There's something here that we talked about, and quite frankly, I don't even remember talking about this, but I'm looking at it here on the outline.
Okay.
Offer memorandum. What is that?
Offer memorandum is, well, what it comes down to is if you have a project that you're looking at. Let me share with you. In Phoenix, Arizona, I'm working with an investor, and they're thinking about making an offer on 150 plus units apartment building, 4.7 million. Prior to you considering writing up an offer, you better get an offer memorandum from the listing broker. That should give you a good idea of what the project consists of: room mix, income, expenses, general information. Once you're in contract and you're actually open an escrow in contract, then you should get what they call an internal offering memorandum. That's going to give you confidential information that's only given to parties that are in contract. So what that does, it gives you a good general idea as to what your investment is structured like. The room mix, the laundry room, the income, the management, on-site management, it gives you all that information. Gives you some really nice looking photos, but you're really looking at the financials of the project. That's what that is.
Are profit and loss statements included in that, or
Profit and loss is given to you once you're in contract. What they will do is give you a rent roll, which is a good idea. They give you an idea what the vacancy rate is, and that's also important.
that makes sense?
All right. Well, give us a call, 855-693-4897. We are coming up on the end of the show. I believe we have 1 minute left. Mr. Carlos, thanks for joining us today on the Real Estate Rant. And,
welcome, Alex.
Very informative, may I add?
Yeah. I think that there's probably a lot more discussion about commercial finance that I would like to have and inform the listeners about. We kind of touched on it a little bit on the surface on some of the topics today, but there's definitely a lot more goings on and a lot of stories that me and you talked about,
Right.
During the week. So maybe sometime in the future you'd like to join us again.
I would love to. I think in closing, I just want to put out an offer to our loan broker brothers out there that are looking for an answer in commercial. 38% of our business comes from brokers brokering to us.
Nice.
So, yeah, we're able to work with another party, another office. Let us know. Thank you so much.
Yes. You can reach Mr. Carlos Beltran Jr. at 562-756-7993, or you can reach him at Commercial Loans, that's with an S, USA at yahoo.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll be here again next week at 3:30 here on the Rant Radio Network.
Stay tuned for Indy 104.
So I cut off. What, didn't it? Did it cut off? Are you there, Mr. Pantalones? Testing.
Thanks for tuning in to Real Estate Rant Radio. Make sure to join us every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on the Rant Radio Network, where we talk about solutions to your real estate problems. The views and opinions expressed by the host or any guest on this show are encouraged to be followed up by a professional tax advisor or attorney, as we are not qualified or authorized to give advice in two areas: legal matters and tax matters.